SEO is changing forever. Are you ready? Everyone's freaking out about AI. AI is everywhere, and AI is changing how we're going to be doing SEO. Let's talk about it. SEO stands for search engine optimization, which is basically just the philosophy of how do we tell these search engines that I, in fact, am the right site you should send people to when they search for whatever it is I sell. Early on, it was just about telling the algorithm the keywords it needed. It was basically spoon-feeding keywords to the different algorithms to ensure that Google and other search engines would understand that your site is related to certain keywords, and so therefore when a human being searches for this keyword, you should associate it with this. But then how did it understand that my keywords and your keywords, which one has more value? This basic algorithm that was reading everybody's site and just seeing what keywords and phrases were on there basically led to keyword stuffing. Keyword stuffing was a practice of adding in tons and tons of keywords on your site. That ended up looking really messy. The user experience was pretty poor. That led to lower conversions, which defeated the purpose of getting the traffic to your site in the first place from these search engines. Then meta tags and meta areas and meta descriptions were added, so people were stuffing their keywords in there where regular customers couldn't see it, but the search engines could see it and understand the keywords. This then led to a problem because my site and your site and all my competitors' site all had the same keywords on it because we were all going after the same keyword results. So Google's algorithm adapted again and started looking at what it considered a reputation score, trying to see what other sites thought that your content was valuable enough to link to. It basically turned Google and search engines and the web as a whole into a giant popularity contest. Whichever sites had the most links coming into it from other sites was the most popular, based on all these other sites validating that its content was the best and would be therefore ranked higher. This led to people creating millions upon millions of junk sites that just fed links into each other's sites to feed this aspect of the algorithm. Then the algorithm adapted again. This time the algorithm wanted to optimize based on each site's reputation score. So these sites and other sites that had a lot of history and had valid links and had some sort of a higher reputation were ranked higher. So if one of these sites linked to your site, the value of that link was greater than a link from any other random junk site. The other major change that's happened in the last few years is privacy. You can see this with everybody freaking out and ad costs rising when iOS, Apple basically updated to start protecting user privacy so that Facebook and other companies like Google can't track you across different apps. Tracking is getting harder and harder. Privacy rules are getting stricter and stricter, and people just don't want to be tracked from site to site and have all of their experience, their emails read, their social media read by bots that are then selling it or being used to advertise to them. As a result, companies like Google, Meta, and Amazon are incorporating machine learning and artificial intelligence to, instead of having to follow you around the internet, they basically build a model of who you are likely to be based on past behavior and behavior that they are allowed to track because you've given them consent, and basically building an artificial model of you and then feeding that into the ad platforms to ensure that you and your artificial model are most likely to react to the ad favorably, essentially getting us to the point where we might not actually need to be tracked at all, because everything's going to be about machine learning and likelihoods of behavior based on existing and past behaviors that already are part of the data set. Essentially, we've already been feeding the data set for the last 10, 15 years, and now they might not need us anymore unless major behavior changes happen, and then technically, the machine learning of the AI system should adapt to that and adjust its predictions based on our behavior. Where you're seeing this is getting particularly tricky is with the invent of the chatbots and this interactive ability. ChatGPT, it's chat.openai. It's a free platform. They were the first ones to launch publicly, and it caused quite a stir. The next one that came up after was Google Bard and MSN. Google Bard is the one to pay attention to because it is a Google-based AI system. And if you've noticed in the last few weeks, Google search results have made an update. With this latest update, you can search anything in Google, and the very first box that comes up is actually a summary from Google Bard. So Google is incorporating its own chat AI engine into Google search results. The way Google Bard is moving, all Google searches might end up just giving you a Google Bard result with no reason to link out to any other site that doesn't pay to to be an ad. Let's think this through. Google needs to sell ads. The only reason it sells ads is because somebody searches for something and somebody wants to pay to be in front of the person that's searching for that. It needed organic content to give you a feeling that there was so much information and only available at Google, and only the best information was prioritized at Google, that it would keep you coming back, which increases your likelihood to click on an ad, which increases Google's revenue. But if they don't need our organic content anymore because they have an AI engine that has already searched all of our organic content to feed you the information it needs, then you still go back to Google consistently to get the answers to whatever it is you're searching for. But now it just gives you a succinct answer and gives you a bunch of ads. What I'm finding, though, with this latest algorithm update is Google Bard's answers are not quite perfect. And it seems to have somehow damaged the algorithm that was giving us higher quality article results before. So remember that update, that algorithm update I was so excited about because suddenly we were ranking so much faster? That seems not to be the case. And in my last couple dozen searches on Google, in fact, the first 10 to 15 results were not even close to being the highest quality result for that particular search term. So if my theory is accurate, and it seems to be that this is the way things are going, I decided to go right to the source and ask Google Bard itself, how do I get to be part of your results? At the end of the day, if this is the evolution of Google, then the only way for you to get any sort of organic pull from Google itself is to have Google Bard trust your information and bring your information first as the answer to any question asked by Google. And remember, all of these AI engines are learning based on all of the internet information that's out there. So all of this organic content is still there and is still valuable, but is now primarily going to be searched by AI and then fed to customers rather than individuals finding it through an algorithm update in a search engine. But that being said, I did also go right to the source and ask Google Bard itself, how do I make sure that you're talking about my brand? And this is what Google Bard said. First, gather all your content you want Google Bard to learn. 2, clean up the content to make sure that it's very clear exactly what Google Bard needs to learn. 3, format the content in a way that Google Bard can understand. 4, upload the content. You can do this by creating a new project and selecting the import option. 5, train Google Bard. Once the content is uploaded, you can train Google Bard. This is just any other typical training process that happens with any other AI. You'll notice with ChatGPT or Google Bard that as you continue to give it prompts, it'll learn and it'll adapt, and you can have an ongoing conversation with it. This training step is particularly interesting if you also want to use Google Bard or ChatGPT as your customer service engine. There's already been more than a dozen different apps that were created off of ChatGPT with more advanced customer service chat features than ever before. 6, test Google Bard. Once Google Bard is trained, you can test and see if it understands and answers correctly. Monitor Google Bard's performance. Once it's in use, you can monitor and see to ensure that it delivers the content that you need. And then 8, continue to provide feedback to Google Bard. My understanding is even though these training sessions are isolated in each conversation, that all of this just goes back into the overall Google Bard engine and helps it to learn and grow. So I know these are just all of my own wild theories of where we're headed, but it seems very likely that we're heading in some sort of direction along these lines, considering Google has already incorporated Google Bard to be the top primary result when you do a Google search. Let me know where you think Google Bard, AI, SEO is heading and what you can do about it as a business owner. Thanks again for watching our Marketing Insights. My name's Andreea Borcea. Make sure to reach out with any marketing questions, put them in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and if you want to talk business, visit us at diacreative.com and fill out a form. Thanks.